Once upon a time, in a small village nestled between rolling hills and dense forests, lived a young man named Ethan. He was a dreamer at heart, always thinking about the future and the grand things he could accomplish. Yet, there was one problem. Ethan had an unsettling habit of putting things off. His dreams were big, but the actions to achieve them were small and scattered. Every time he tried to work toward a goal, he found something more interesting or fun to do instead. Time, as it passed, seemed like a constant companion he never truly paid attention to. And he often heard from his elders, "Time waits for no one." But those words would slip through his ears, lost in the winds of youth. Ethan's father, an old wise man who had lived a long life filled with experiences, would often tell him, "Son, time is like sand slipping through your fingers. If you don't use it wisely, you'll find yourself with nothing left but regret." But Ethan, in his youthful arrogance, would simply laugh it off. He believed there was always more time to do the things that mattered. After all, he was young, and life would always offer him second chances. He would say, "I'll start tomorrow," or "I'll be serious about it when the time is right." But the time never seemed right. One day a traveler came to the village, a man with an air of mystery and a kind smile. He had seen the world, experienced things no one in the village could even imagine, and his stories captivated everyone who listened. The village was eager to hear his tales, and Ethan, as always, lingered in the background, content to listen and absorb the stories without ever taking parts. He admired the man, but didn't think much of his wisdom. The traveler, sensing that Ethan was different from the others, approached him after the crowd had dispersed. "I see a spark in you, young man," the traveler said. "You have the potential to accomplish great things. But first, you must learn to use your time wisely. Don't let it slip away. If you do, you will find that years have passed and your dreams will have faded." Ethan laughed, thinking the traveler's advice was just another story, another piece of old wisdom he didn't need. He brushed it off, returning to his routine of idleness. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months. Ethan would spend hours staring out at the horizon, dreaming of the things he could do, but never doing anything to make those dreams a reality. One fateful morning, the traveler returned, this time with an offer. "I have an opportunity for you," he said, "but you must be willing to take it." Ethan, still skeptical but curious, listened intently. The traveler explained that a great master in a far-off town was willing to take on a few apprentices. However, there was a catch. The apprentices had to prove themselves in a test. They were given 30 days to learn a new skill, something useful that would help them in their future endeavors. The challenge intrigued Ethan. The opportunity sounded like the perfect chance to prove himself. The test was simple enough. Choose a skill and master it within 30 days. It could be anything: woodworking, painting, singing, or something else entirely. But the real challenge was time. Ethan had always believed that he could learn anything when he wanted to, and he saw this as his moment. So he signed up thinking that 30 days was more than enough time to learn anything. But Ethan, true to his nature, didn't get started right away. The first few days passed in a blur of distractions. He thought, "I'll start tomorrow." But tomorrow never came. His friends, who had also taken the challenge, began practicing diligently. One friend, a young man named Sam, was learning to carve wood. Another, Lily, was perfecting her singing voice. Ethan watched them from a distance, feeling a pang of guilt but not acting on it. Days passed and still, he did nothing. As the final days of the challenge approached, Ethan began to panic. He realized that while his friends were progressing, he had nothing to show for himself. He had spent so much time doing nothing, letting his days slip away, that he was now scrambling to catch up. He started reading books and trying to learn everything at once, but it was too late. Time, it seemed, was no longer his ally. The final day arrived, and Ethan stood before the master with nothing to present. He had nothing to show for the time he had been given. His friends, on the other hand, stood proudly with their accomplishments. Sam had created a beautiful wooden sculpture, and Lily sang a beautiful song that moved everyone to tears. When it was Ethan's turn, the master looked at him with a disappointed but understanding gaze. "Why didn't you use your time wisely?" the master asked. Ethan, ashamed, could only answer, "I wasted it. The master nodded slowly and said, "Time is your greatest gift, young man. Once it's gone, you can never get it back. What you do with it defines who you become." Ethan left the challenge that day with his heart heavy. He had learned a painful lesson, one he would never forget. He returned to his village, and for the first time he truly understood the weight of those words his father had said so many times. Time waits for no one. From that day forward, Ethan's life changed. He woke up each morning with a purpose, determined not to waste a single moment. He began to study, practice, and work hard, focusing on learning new skills and achieving his goals. Slowly, he built the life he had once only dreamed about. He found success, not by waiting for the perfect time, but by using every moment he had wisely. Years later, when people asked him what the secret to his success was, Ethan would smile and say, "It's simple. Never waste your time. Every moment counts." And so the story of Ethan serves as a reminder to us all. Time is fleeting, and the future we dream of is only possible if we make the most of the present.